So before we get started, check out the following links in the description box below as highlighted in the image shown. So you'll be able to get our past papers, our link to our official website, link to accreditations, our link to donation page, and contact details in the description. So once you'll be watching a certain video of any lesson or of any past paper, you'll be able to get all these links, and you can be able to get to download past papers, to reach to our official website. You'll be able to see links to our accreditations so that you can see which authorities have accredited us. You'll be able to reach to our donation page as well as our contact details.
Okay, welcome back to another lesson. We continue with our revision series, and in this video we want to look at an exam that was done in April 2024, Fundamentals of Finance. And this exam, we need to note that it is the new mode of testing where a student is allowed or is given multiple choice questions. Therefore, unlike what we used to have before, where we used to do some calculations, but on this one, let me just take you through the instructions. First, you are told that this paper is made up of 50 multiple choice questions. Answer all questions by indicating the letter A, B, C, or D that represent the correct answer. Each question is allocated 2 marks. Do not write anything on this paper. So during your exam, you are not allowed to write your workings on the question paper, and you should be having your workings elsewhere. Then you transfer your correct answer here. Now, multiple choice questions, sometimes, most of the times, they may appear closer to each other. You need to be very keen when you are choosing your correct answer. Like if I begin with question number 1, you are told, in the context of finance functions, which one of the following best describe the routine role of finance function? And the key term here is best. Yeah, best in the sense that all of them may be describing the role of finance functions, but you need to pick the best out of them. Now, let's look at A, addressing one-time financial issues. Although addressing financial issues is a role of finance function, but not just for one time. So we rule out A. If you move to D, you are told finance functions, they are there to make financial decision making for major projects. Although decision making for projects are part of the role of finance function, but they are not just for the major projects. Even minor projects are considered. Therefore, we rule out D. We move to C, strategic financial planning. Although finance functions are there for financial planning, but not only at strategic level, they can also be used in other levels of finance decision. Therefore, you find that all these are roles of finance function, but the best one is B, where you are told is for day-to-day financial operations. Therefore, you'll come here and pick B as our correct answer. Now, we move on to the next part. The next part, you are told which one of the following is non-financial goal of a firm. Remember, this one is very specific. You are looking for non-financial goal. You see, firms, they may be there to make finance gain or to make profits, and others functions, they are not meant to gain or to make profit. So which one is non-financial goal? 1, maximizing shareholders' wealth. That is financial goal, because when you maximize shareholders' wealth, you make shareholders have more money, or have more value of their investment. That means it's a financial goal. Now, maximizing profit, C, that is a financial goal. To maximize profit is a financial goal. Yeah. Then increasing market share. When you increase market share means if you want to sell your share, you'll sell your share at a higher value. But the correct answer here is part B, where a non-financial goal include or is achieving sustainable growth. You see, when you achieve sustainable growth, it means you are not just there to get financial gain. So achieving sustainable goal should have been the correct answer to this question. I tick achieving sustainable growth. Now, let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3, you are asked, in agency theory, who is typically considered as the principal? You see, there is a principal and an agent. An agent is a person who acts on behalf of the principal. So, therefore, in a company setup, the people who give out funds, the people who run the company are the agent, but whoever owns this company becomes the principal. Therefore, if you look at A, you are told external auditors. External auditors cannot be the principal. They are there just to temporarily to make the company financial documents, whether they are true and fair. Then government regulators. Government regulators cannot be principals. Management as well cannot be principal. The principal in agency theory is the shareholder. Shareholder becomes the principal. You come here and tick your answer C. Now, we go to question number 4, where you are asked, which agency relationship conflict related to risk return of investment decision? Here, the key point here is the agency relationship which involves conflict related to risk return trade-off in investment. Now, risk return means it is risk versus return. Now, which relationship, which agency relationship? Let's start with D, shareholders and government. Although shareholders want higher returns, government basically the shareholders may be not ready to risk. Yeah, they may not be ready to risk where they may get losses, but government is there to collect taxes, whether you make profit or not. So there may be no such high conflict rated between risk and return for shareholders and government. Shareholder and external auditors as well. External auditors, they are just there whether you make profit or not. Their fees are constant. Shareholders and debenture holders. Debenture holders and shareholders, they may conflict in the sense that shareholders want to get more dividends, but debenture holders want the company to grow so that it is able to pay the debenture interest in the long run. But the risk and return trade-off in investment may happen between shareholders and management. In this sense, management may not be willing to risk investing in a project that may lead to company winding up, because their job is basically around the success of the company or the going concern of the company. But shareholders on the other side, they want the management to make investment even in risky projects so that they're able to gain higher dividends. So here we say that ordinary shareholders and management is where we have the conflict between risk and return. Now, let's look at question number 5. You are told, what is the key difference between financial accounting and management accounting? Remember, our concern here is the key. Although all these are difference between financial accounting and management accounting, but we want to look at what is the main. Let's look at the first one, A. Both focus on internal decision making. Okay, yeah, when you make when you prepare financial accounting and management accounting, of course they can be used for internal decision making, but that is not the key difference. both use the same set of accounting principles. Yeah, it's true. Financial accounting and management accounting, they apply international financial reporting standards or the international accounting standards, but that is not a key difference. Now, financial accounting is more future oriented. Okay, if you say financial accounting, of course it may be more future oriented, but does not carry more weight. Yeah, so management accounting basically is used by the management internally. Yeah, management accounting, management accounts are just meant by internal, but financial accounting basically prepare accounts for external reporting. Yeah, for financial accounting, this is where the government, the shareholders, and any other person who is interested to invest in a company will focus more on financial accounting than management accounting. Therefore, the key difference between these two is that financial accounting is primarily for external reporting. That is the main difference between financial accounting and management accounting. Now, we go to question number 6. Here, you are asked, what is the common cause of conflict between shareholders and debenture holders? Yeah, debenture holders. Let me start with the last one, strategic business planning. Not really, because shareholders, if the strategic business planning is basically about the management. The management are the one who focus about where the business want to be, not the shareholders. Capital structure decision. Capital structure decision still is not an issue with shareholders. How to mix debt and equity is basically the decision of the board of directors or even the management as such. So shareholders basically are not. Voting rights. Yeah, shareholders are the one with the voting rights. Debenture holders, they don't have voting rights. Yeah, therefore, the key or the common cause of conflict here could be dividend distribution. Why do we say dividend distribution? The dividend distribution comes in where shareholders want, when the company make profits, to distribute most of their profit in form of dividends. So they would like to make more returns on the investment. On the other hand, debenture holders want the company to retain most of their profits for them to grow, because they have an interest of their loan or their bonds to be paid in the long run. If their business wind up, they may not be in a position to continue earning interest from this business. Therefore, this could be the major conflict between shareholders and debenture holders, in the sense that shareholders want to get more returns on their investment. Therefore, they would wish the company to pay more of their profits in form of dividends. So that is it. We move on to question number 7, where you are told, how does an increase in current ratio, that is current asset divided by current liabilities, affect liquidity? Now, the current asset determines how the ability of the company to pay its short-term current liabilities. In other words, when the current assets are more than the current liabilities, it means the company is able to pay off its current liabilities. In the vice versa, where the current assets are less than the current liabilities, it means even if you sell all or you dispose all the current assets, you will still have liabilities to pay. It therefore means when you have an increase in current ratio, the recommended current ratio is 2. But when it is higher, what does it show? It shows that you are able to pay your current liabilities and you are still left with so many assets to continue your business. It therefore means when there is a higher increase in current ratio, it improves liquidity. Improves liquidity. If you look at B saying reduce liquidity, that is wrong. No impact on liquidity, that is wrong. Increase profitability, no. Profitability has no relationship with current ratio. profitability is more about sales. Therefore, in this question, you are supposed to say improve liquidity. Next, we look at question number 8. You are told a small business need funds for a project with relatively short duration. Which source of finance is the most suitable for this situation? We want to see which source of finance can you use to finance short term. Yeah? You see, a small business needs funds for a project with a relatively short duration. Take note of this one. You need funds, but these funds are just meant within, let's say, when you're talking of short duration, maybe a duration of less than 1 year. Which source of finance is the most suitable in this situation? When you say long-term bank loan basically, those ones are not meant for short term. Yeah, so that one is already, you rule out that one. Trade credit. What happens with trade credit? Trade credit is where supplier gives you items or goods to go and sell without necessarily you paying for them. That means you go and trade with them, then you pay. There's a delay in payment here. Trade credit. So when you're given a trade credit, you cannot use this money to fund other projects. Yeah. So trade credit we rule out. Venture capital. Venture capital here is where people give you their money. They venture into your business and you give them in form of equity. Yeah. So that one cannot actually be. So the most ideal situation of getting funds for short-term duration is what we call factoring. Factoring. What is factoring here? This is selling your trade receivables, sorry. Selling account receivables. Selling account receivables to a factoring company to get immediate cash. To get immediate cash. Yeah. You see, account receivables, these are funds that you expect them to these are funds, if they have not, like if you have trade receivables, these are people who will pay you in the short run. Therefore, you can sell those trade receivables to a factoring company. When the trade debtors pay you, then you go and pay the company. So that is the way you can get short-term funds for a project that need a relatively short duration. Now, we move to question number 9, where you ask, which of the following is an example of internally generated funds? These are funds that are available within the company or the organization setup. 1, bank loan. Bank loan are obtained from external sourcing. So that is not an internal generated fund. So we rule out A. Sale of stocks. Okay, sale of stock, even if it is internally, but you have to engage people outside. You have to engage people outside for you to get these funds. Hi, let's look at trade credit. Trade credit here, you are receiving goods with delay payment, so that you have to sell them. Once you make sales, you go and pay the supplier. So the most appropriate internally generated funds here is the retained earning. Retained earnings, these are funds that have been retained from profits. Yeah. When you distribute dividends, you retain some of the profits in form of retained earnings. So that is an internally generated funds. Now, we look at question number 10, where you are told which one of the following is not a typical source of financing for new, small, and medium-sized enterprises. The key point here is all these may be may not be a source of, but which one is not a typical source of financing? All these may be source of financing, but which one is not common? Let me use that term. Which one is not common, especially for a new small business? The business is small and new. It's like the business has 2 days or has 1 month. Which one? Let's look at this. Personal savings and assets. Of course, for small business enterprises, SME, the owner will first use the personal savings to start the business. So that means that is a source of financing. Loans from families and friends. This SME can obtain loans from their families and friends. Venture capital investment. This is where people can decide to give you money, and in returns they own part of your business. It's possible. You can have people venturing into a business, they give you capital, but the most not common source of finance is bank loan. You cannot start an SME today and tomorrow you go to a bank and you tell them you need a bank loan. You will find that there will be too much restriction on this, because first, you don't have financial statement of that business, even sometimes get invest security. So that, although bank loans are a source of financing, but they are not common, or they are not typical to a business that is starting, to a new small medium-sized enterprise. SME may not start a business immediately they go for a bank loan, but other avenues like personal savings, loans from families and friends, and venturing in capital investment, those are possible sources of financing. Otherwise, we are going to stop there in this video. When we meet next, we shall look at the next set of questions from question number 11. So for now, it's a goodbye. Meet our next video. Goodbye.
So if you like this video, you can always enroll with us. You'll be able to access more of these revision sessions, and also you'll be able to find well done lectures or pre-recorded videos for all the KASNEB courses as well as CHRP. And in case of anything, you can always reach us out. We have our contact details on the screen. Feel free to call, feel free to WhatsApp anytime. So thank you, and let's meet in our next session.